was this even a movie? Like, yo, I think I was on a ship and I think I went to Pandora. Like, this movie was crazy. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the channel. Today we're talking about Avatar: The Way of Water. Jake Sully lives with his newfound family formed on the extrasolar moon Pandora. Once a familiar threat returns to finish what was previously started, Jake must work with Ney'tiri and the army of the Na'vi race to protect their home. So Avatar: The Way of Water was directed by James Cameron, the James Cameron, Titanic James Cameron, Avatar 1 James Cameron, Terminator 2 James Cameron, Aliens, all of it. True Lies. That's a good movie. So it's been 13 years since the first Avatar came out, and honestly, I can't believe it's been that long. I mean, I was a sophomore in high school when that came out. I don't know what took James Cameron that long, but for whatever reason, he just wanted to wait and make sure he got it right. So over the last few years, we've been hearing about a sequel to Avatar. Honestly, we've been hearing about 3, 4, 5 sequels. But honestly, I was just waiting for this second one to come out. So here's my thoughts. I don't think I've ever been more immersed in a movie. Now, I was in the IMAX 3D. Me and my buddy Caleb, we got tickets, went down to the AMC. There's a scene in the very beginning of the movie where it's raining, and I just felt like it was raining on me. Like, I was checking my arm, like, yo, like, what's going on? Like, it was just so immersive. Now you can see the frown lines, you can see the imperfections in the face of the Na'vi. You can just see so much detail that wasn't previously there before. If you actually go back and watch the first Avatar, which me and my buddy Caleb did, obviously there are scenes that are just astounding, but there's just some of that video game look to it, and so it didn't quite hold up to today's standards. But what Weta was able to do with the faces and with the environments and the textures, I mean, it was incredible. One thing about the first Avatar movie I noticed was the dialogue was awful. Like, I mean, truly awful. I mean, it was cringy, and I kind of feel like, you know, James Cameron had wrote that script in like 1989 and just never updated it. So with this movie, at times the dialogue still struggles, but for the most part, it is head and shoulders above where it was in the first film. So as far as the story goes, Jake has settled in as an Avatar himself now. If you remember from the last movie, spoiler alert, sorry, he's got a family, he's got kids, and they're just living their life, enjoying themselves. It's been years. I think it's almost probably been 13, 14 years since the first movie. So when a familiar threat shows up, Jake and his family have to head out and find a new place to live. And that's kind of where the movie gets started. So as far as the story goes, it's very simple. It's very simple, just like the first Avatar. I think James Cameron has found the special sauce where you tell a familiar story, something that can relate to a lot of people, but you paint it on this huge canvas so that, like, when you're watching it, it can like really attract to everybody. But it's like amazing to look at. Like, you're like, what am I even looking at right now? It's really staggering. I think that the characters all took step forward in their journey. I think only thing I really missed from this movie was a little bit more of Zoe Saldana's Ney'tiri. I think that she's such an emotional weight in the first movie. I really felt like they kind of sidelined her, which it's fine because you're trying to focus on the kids and trying to build this world out. But honestly, that was the only thing as far as the story wise that I wish they had kind of enhanced on. So this is a non-spoiler review. I thought that the villain was really well done. I thought that it was a unique way to do it. You know, once you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. So if you're gonna see this movie, which I suggest that you do, make sure you go see it in 3D, because honestly, you're not gonna get an experience like this ever again. When it comes out on home video, some people have 3D TVs, but they really don't even make them anymore. So I really feel like you gotta get to the theater. So I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I really think I could get it even higher to maybe a 4.5 after I see it again. I think there's some things in the story. I think it's a little long in some parts. I think that's kind of why I don't have it as a 5 out of 5. But as far as being immersed, I don't think I've ever been as immersed into a world before. I mean, this movie is beautiful. You have to go see this, and please see it in 3D. All right, now I appreciate you guys tuning into the channel. This was my Avatar review. Make sure you hit like and subscribe so you get more videos like this. Peace.